to episode 228 of Wise Advice. And what we'll do, like we always do, I'll spend a couple minutes checking in, give you guys a second to get here, get settled. We'll run through some hellos. Dina checks in first. And in about 10 minutes or so, we'll actually record the show. Harper, good evening to you. Lori checks in on Facebook. Good evening. Let's see. Hildy is here as well. So yeah, so that's the game plan. We'll, like I said, we'll run through just kind of some hellos and chit chat and build the community, say hello to each other, and then I will get into the actual recording of the show when we get to that point. So, cool beans. Sounds good to me. So let's see. Bev is here. Good evening to you. Amy checks in nicely. Good evening. Newfoundland, we officially gone international. Roxanne checks in. Good evening to you. Let's see. Cheryl is here. Christy is here from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. YouTube is not going to cooperate, so we're just we're on Instagram and Facebook. I'm not going to mess with YouTube tonight, so that's the way it goes. Alice is here from Phoenix. Good evening to you. Holly from Stella from New York. Gotcha. Let's see. Cheryl is just here just for a moment. Rockford, Illinois. Coletta checks in. Good evening. Kathleen is here. Amy is here. She's making lunch for her daughter tomorrow. Michelle says having coffee again tonight. Very cool. Let's see. Lisa checks in from Minnesota. Pamela's here from Colorado Springs. Very cool. I need to get back out there. I love it out there. Carrie is here. Good evening to you. Marcia says, hey, y'all. Marcia, thanks for being here. Always fun to hang out with you. Corey checks in from Connecticut. Just walked 5K at the gym, prepping for the weekend. Is there something going on this weekend? I wonder. Yeah, I headed to DC this weekend. Looking forward. I already know. So Alicia is here. Good evening to you. Yeah, Christy says YouTube is acting goofy tonight. Yeah, it doesn't connect over here, so I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna mess with it. Jennifer from Huffman, Texas. Good evening. How are you? Crazy Diane from New York. Good evening to you. Thanks for your comment on Connect as well. Thanks for that. Auntie Shell says, no excuse to say I went to the gym. Boom. That's the way to do it. Did you track it? Put it in the app. Put your activity in the app. So it's way more fun. Get those wins. Get them done. Let's see. Jody says, Westport, Mass. Way to go, Red Sox. I agree. I'm a Red Sox fan, but I have no clue how they're doing. I've been a little disconnected from sports lately, so I guess they're playing baseball or something. That's as much as I know. I'm really just not following them. It's okay. Eva is here. Let's see. Georgia, Liz checks in. Good evening to you. Christy says, she's talking to Pamela, sorry. Eva from Tacoma, Washington is here. Good evening. Kim Jones says, hello, everyone. Pamela says, come back anytime. I know, I need to. I need to get out there. It was so beautiful when we were out there, wasn't it? I thought it was a great day. Everything was great. So, Jennifer from Marietta, Georgia, good evening to you. Melinda says, I'm fixing to go to sleep, but I want to say hello. Hi. Let's see. California, Susan checks in. Good evening to you. Let's see. Kathy is here. Karen from Westfield. Hey, I just saw Karen a couple of minutes ago. Wasn't even that long ago. Cool. Welcome. Always good to see you. You know that. So let's see. Becky is here from Tennessee. Glad to catch a live show, or the beginning anyways. Yep. Tonight will be a quick show because I want to get to bed as well. I got a lot going on this week, but I have 3 emails I want to share with you. Southern Maryland, Kathleen checks in. Let's see. Lori says, I don't usually go to the gym on Tuesday, but I had 20 minutes before my workshop, so you figured it was better than nothing. I agree. Karen checks in from Atlanta. Good evening to you. Heather, first live show in a long time. Glad you're here. I hope your computer cooperates as well. So Jody says the Red Sox won 8-2 over the Astros, lead the ALCS 2-1. Very nice. So I hope they win the championship. That'd be good. American League Championship 2-1. Very cool. Yeah, I just have not. I've been too busy to catch up with it. So, and I have other things that grab for my attention, and baseball is certainly not it. So, Cool. All right, let's get this thing started early. I want to get diving into it because I got, like I said, I got 3 emails here for you ready. Everything's ready. Let's get our water ready. Get going there, and then we will all get to bed early. Does that sound like a plan? Works for me. So now we're going there. Let's see. Cool. Cheers. Let's do this. Episode 228 is where we're at. So let's see. Here we go. Oh, that's a deep sound. Maria's here. Woohoo! Cheers. I didn't take it out early enough, so you know what that means. Ooh, makes my brain freeze. Always little brain freeze action. So let's see. Bev says when you get back, we can plan a meetup. I like that. Very cool. Paulette says, "Way to go." Very cool. All right, Franny's here. She says yes. That means if she's ready, then I'm ready. Let's do it. Lori checking in from Long Island. Let's do this. Episode 228. Live. Deep breath. I know, brain freeze. Pamela says, yeah. It because I was drinking. Here's the deal. I was drinking this one earlier, and but I didn't want to finish it because I knew I had to drink another one for the show. So I'm a little, and that was this one. So I had the warm one. I should have finished that one instead of this one, but anyway, it's all good. Marianne, good evening. Says first time here, so you are right on time. All the intros are done. We're going to dig right into it, so hang on. Here it goes. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello. Welcome to episode 228 of Wise Advice. And we're going to get this thing done early, quick, and often. And I just want to just continue to always thank you who are here live for joining the live show. I think that makes it fun. It's such a fun community to be a part of. I encourage you, if you don't already, go to your app store, whether it be for the Apple or for Android, and certainly get the Wise Advice app. That is the best way to hear the show. You can sort it by episodes that you listen to. You can turn it so that it downloads the episodes from your Wi-Fi before you leave the house, and you can hear them. I think the app is fantastic. You can reach out from to the show from the app directly. You certainly can do that as well too. So again, thank you all for being here. Let's dig into this first one. Elizabeth out of Texas writes in, says, hello again, Fat Dag. Well, I've been wondering a lot lately when I would ever arrive in Wonderland, as I would be typing a congrats to others on Connect as they reach this goal. But I knew to focus on my journey, focus on myself, and that one day I would arrive in that blissful land of Wonderland. Well, guess what? I finally arrived in Wonderland this week. You may have heard me squeal all the way from Texas to Indiana when my wellness coach weighed me in. I'm a fairly new wellness guide, and for accountability, we recently decided to weigh each other in each week. I had a feeling it was going to happen as I was able to wear some pants to this meeting that I had worn 3 years ago when I'd reached 199 pounds. The compliments I got from the meeting members that night sure were nice. What had happened to make me stumble 3 years ago? Well, how could I have been so callously thrown out all the hard work that I did and I worked so hard to achieve? Well, I let life stresses weaken my resolve and I gave up on my journey. I settled for okay, and 2 years later, I was right back at square one. What is different this last time? I finally got my head on straight. I have made permanent lifestyle changes and I don't feel deprived when I eat healthy. I feel lucky. I don't feel inconvenienced when I exercise. I feel energized. I focus on eating healthy foods that fuel my body. The less hungry I am, the more success I experience with my weight loss. Does my head still get askew sometimes? Well, sure. Here's an example. When I first joined WW 14 months ago, I prided myself on setting up a routine grocery shopping trip. I knew from past WW meetings that routines were a tool to help members be successful. What happened was I began an unhealthy routine with my shopping. I decided I deserved a payday candy bar to go with my diet Dr. Pepper for buying groceries and for all my trouble of tracking points, exercise, etc. My head had not made the shift yet in the newness of my journey. Well, eventually the regular size candy bar became the sharing size, which we know I didn't share. And then I discovered a payday every time that I went to the store. I deserved a payday every time I went to the store. Of course, I didn't get one every time, but I noticed a pattern. A dangerous pattern that I had created in my mind. I even entertained the idea of getting a candy bar twice in 1 week if the shopping days happened back to back and ended one WW week where the next one began the next day. Well, as you can imagine, my weight loss stalled accordingly. Thank you for being there every step, literally, of the way. I have listened to your podcast exclusively for a whole year this month on my walks. I'm so inspired by you and all of your followers. I share your podcast info with members in our meeting room. When they tell me they are struggling, I remind them of America's #1 weight loss wingman, Fat Dag. As I type this email, I'm on the road for vacation with my husband and our younger adult son. I'm so thankful that on this trip we're able to laugh, love, live as any family should. I won't get into the particulars. I shared some on an earlier show, but this is the first vacation we've been able to take with our son in years, and it was so fun letting him pick our destination and most of our activities. His older brother planned a vacation for us in September, which included a lot of hiking. He had planned this vacation for 6 months after we began our last start dates. He believing in us, his dad and I, to lose enough weight to do considerable hiking in the Rocky Mountains. And we did have a great time hiking, pushing our physical selves beyond our capabilities, which was only made possible by our weight loss that we experienced. It's definitely not the norm for us to have 2 vacations in 1 year, each planned by our son, but hey, we'll take it when we can get it. We are happy they want to be around us at this age. You see, our older son was our wingman. He was the one that propelled us to get back to Weight Watchers. I'll never forget when he said these words. So, Mom, are you happy with your weight? Have you just accepted your health as is? Well, I know it sounds brutal, but he delivered it with his usual love and compassion, and it worked. I thought, no, I am not happy at all about my weight. And all that food I ate to get here did not solve any of my problems. I vowed right then to myself and to our son, I would get healthy. Well, I'm happy to report that I've made steady progress for 14 months and I've lost 47 pounds. That is about where I was when I quit WW 3 years ago. Next stop, 50 pounds gone forever, and it will be a new milestone for me. Fat Dag, I will get to goal, and when I do, I will send another email. It's about 50 pounds away, but hey, who's counting? I'm too busy enjoying the journey. Thank you, Fat Dag, for all you do for our military service members and the WW community. Thank you for your podcast, your time sacrificed. You deliver your message with compassion, humor, wit, humility, patriotism, and the list certainly goes on. I will continue to get my daily dose of inspiration from your podcast as I continue on my healthy lifestyle journey. And I know you and your followers will be there with me every step of the way. Sincerely, Elizabeth from Texas. And Elizabeth, you know the deal. When you get to Wonderland, we certainly just rename you. We call you Alice, and we celebrate joyously with you. So congratulations, Alice, on getting into Wonderland. I bet it feels every bit as good as it did the last time you got there, maybe even a little better at this point, because now what I would surmise from your email, you're kind of mentally there. That's what I call goal. When you've mentally figured out that this is a journey for the rest of your life, that's goal. At some point, the scale will catch up to that, but you now understand how this journey is different than the last. You know, the settling for okay is often, the same term as being complacent. You get in that point in your life where you feel better, and you start feeling good, and simply you forget how, or you forget that you want to celebrate the new way that you built. And instead what you do is you revert back to the old habits and the old ways that you celebrated. Well, the old ways that got us here, we can't repeat them to the same quantity and level that we did to get here. So we certainly have to completely rechange our focus. And being in that point where we're just okay, I want you to push through that. I want you to say, I'm not okay. I really have bigger goals. I have bigger plans. I want to end this journey forever. That's the journey you're on. And so you're absolutely right. Our heads, all of them, they do still get askew at time. And for so many years, we lived as overweight folks that we're taking, we have years and years and years of bad habits that we're trying to undo in a very short period of time and call it a lifestyle change and move on. The reality is the switch just doesn't simply flip. You have to always work at it. Now, certainly at some point, things become easier. But you notice that unhealthy routine, and it starts very slow. You start giving things that you used to have as indulgences, and you say, that's going to be my reward. And if I plan a shopping trip, then I'll have this food reward. And now what we have to understand is that slowly builds back up that addiction, and it leads you back into that old lifestyle. And what I want you to now do is I want you to take just a moment, and I want you to figure out, which habits do you now want to continue to move forward with? And you take those habits, and I want you to build them into your reward system. I want you to find ways to reward yourself that do not have anything to do with food. You've certainly figured out vacationing is one, and how fun would it be for every 5-pound milestone to go simply on a vacation? Of course, we know that's not possible, but what you're experiencing now is a result of you changing your habits. Being able to tab both your sons and go on vacation and have them plan it and do the things as a family, hiking the Rocky Mountains, that's real stuff. That's the type of stuff that forever you're going to remember. You're not going to remember the candy bar you had at the grocery store, but you're going to remember hiking in the mountains with your family. And you want to remember that as a joyous occasion. You want to remember that how strong you are and how awesome you felt. It's those kind of celebrations that I want you to continue to work towards. 47 pounds is real. Congratulations on that. 50 pounds is coming right up. And then 50 pounds from there, you'll be at goal. But you know what? You are way too busy simply enjoying the journey. You're focused. You're dialed in. I can see it in your email. I can tell that this is different for you. I can tell that you now understand the direct correlation between planning and taking the appropriate action and how that gets you to a healthy, better, happier you. Elizabeth, keep up the amazing work. I'm very, very proud of you. You're an incredible inspiration to your entire family. And as your son put that challenge out to you so graciously, what an amazing young man he is to take concern and do it in such a way where it worked. And it resonated with you, and I'm honored and glad. I'm glad to hear that you took him up on it and completely changed your life and his as well. So, congratulations for sure. Out of Mississippi, Kathy writes this: "Dear Mike, hey, I wasn't planning on writing in for your request for answering the 5 questions to determine your why, but I was just surprised with what I wrote and how I began to discover the things about myself in this journey as I wrote the answers. I want anybody listening to do it. Write out these answers because it changed my perspective and it will change yours. Here is what I came up with. When I asked, what is it that you expect to get out of this journey? I expect to lose weight. I expected it to be easier and for it to go more quickly. I expected to be the same person at the end that I was in the beginning. It hasn't been quick. I've actually gained weight due to the cheating, although I've been back on track now for a month and I'm nearly back to my start weight. Basically, my expectations were completely wrong." I asked if, do you believe you can do this? And said, no, I don't, not really. I've never been able to do it before, so why should it be different now? Well, that's what I tell myself, but I can tell as of lately that I'll be the thing that is different. I've changed already as a result of doing so, so I'll probably be the difference in my success over my failure. When I ask what's in your way, it's, well, I'm in my way. I don't believe I can. However, as I think about it, what's truly in my way is my mom. She tried Weight Watchers and it got hard for her, so she quit. Her voice telling me it's hard and that it didn't work echoes in my mind. The key that it didn't work for her. Why should that mean that it won't work for me? Overcoming this obstacle is going to mean letting encouragement from this community and my meeting drive me to succeed so I can prove her wrong. I can't wait for that moment. I won't be rubbing it in her face, but I want to show her that it is possible. When I ask what's the hardest thing you've ever done, and say the hardest thing I've ever done is if I had so many friends walk out of my life, leaving me depressed and feeling unlovable. Fighting chronic depression and getting over these relationships is a constant battle, so tracking should be easier than that. When it's all said and done, however, the mental game of this journey combined with the depression makes this weight loss thing a close second to the hardest thing I've ever done. I am responsible for my success. I want to do this for me. A little to prove myself right and my mom wrong, but mostly for me. I want to be able to look in the mirror and at photos and like what I see physically. I want to be everything health-wise my parents aren't. No diabetes, no heart issues, no sleep apnea, no cholesterol issues. There are many other reasons as well, but I could go on and on and on. I want to do this, and I'm doing it somehow, one day at a time. Thank you for all your support. Kathy out of Flowood, Mississippi. Kathy, you summed something up that I've begged people to do, and man, it is the thing that more than anything I wish people would do, is that it's maybe not necessarily with these specific questions, but I really want you to grab pen and paper, and I want you to write a journey and a story to yourself. I've given these questions as a framework to help you kind of to motivate that writing process, but you're absolutely right. When you sit down and start doing it, you do start to discover things about yourself and about the journey, and it is so much more fun to share, because as you share, you realize, one, you're not alone, and you realize that other people need to hear that this is incredibly possible. So your expectations, you said you basically had your expectations completely wrong. There is an expectation to lose weight. I think a lot of us start with that same expectation, but the reality is that can't just be handed to you. The expectation should be something along the lines of, I expect that I'm going to have to work hard. I expect that it's going to be difficult, and I expect that my reward is going to be healthier at the end. I will be the same person at the beginning that I was at, or the end that I was at the beginning, but that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. I think as you look across our entire life, all of us have gone through changes. You know, the day you got married, you turned into a different person. The day you had children, that you turned into a different person. So there's no fear of reaching a goal and feeling you're going to turn into a different person. You've done that many times in your life. All, or most, I should say, for the better. So I want you to focus now in on this belief. And so you mentioned it twice, and that you don't believe you can do it, and that you are in your way. And part of it is in the back of your head, you have this echoing of your mom telling you that the program was hard and she quit and that it doesn't work. And we think about that. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take that energy and I want you to reframe it. There are people watching you. There are people who are looking at you to be the success that they have always wanted to be. It's that strength that you're going to have to dig deep into all of you have and say, I can do this because I need to prove that the program works. I need to be the one that says it works. In my circle of friends and my circle of people that I hang out with, they need to have someone to motivate them. And why can't that be you? Now, clearly, we know this program works. There's no question that it does work. The question is does it work for you, or can you work it? The question is, can we stay with it long enough? The question is, can we integrate it into our life to make it work? And as we have those old voices kicking around saying it doesn't work, that very easy to succumb to that and say, it's just easier to just not do this than to dig in. You clearly are responsible for your success. You want to do it for you. I'm proud of that. That should be the only reason you want to do this. You want to do this for you, to prove yourself that you can do it. And so when you start the journey saying, I'm not sure I can, but you have the expectation at the very end that you want to do it to prove yourself right, you have to build a roadmap along the way. So start from finding things that you know you can do. Find things that you're doing successfully, build on them. Be responsible. Be committed to all of you got going on, and you will absolutely look in the mirror at some point and love the photos. You'll look in the mirror and love what you see, and like I said, you'll love the photos as well. There are chances that your health improves. You can regain some health benefits as you start taking care of your body. I've heard so many people that rid themselves of diabetes and rid themselves of heart issues and sleep apnea and cholesterol issues. I've heard all of the stories. Now certainly, some genetics come into play there as well, but by and large, it's doable. And it's doable when you take the responsibility to say, I am going to do this. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to make a plan, and I'm going to commit to it. Kathy, you're halfway there. You've got the framework. You got your why. You have everything you need. I'm giving you now the power to commit. I'm giving you now the power to succeed. I'm giving you the gift of knowing that it's possible. That's what I want that's what I want to leave you with. I want to leave you with, it's possible. I did it. So many people in our community have done it. It doesn't take long to scroll through Connect or scroll through the Wise Wingman Facebook group and see hundreds and hundreds of people who've done it. Follow their lead. Do the things that they've done. Find the success that they've had. Modify them to fit your life and stick with this for life. You can do it. And Kathy, I can't wait till when you write in and you tell me that you did do it. I think it's going to be an incredible day for all of us when you break through that point and get it done. So thank you for writing in. Lacey writes in, says, Dear Fat Dag, hey, I've been wanting to write again to you. I know that you get many emails, and I'm sorry for such a long email. I've been binge listening to all of your old podcasts. I would love to be on one of your podcasts. I started the beginning, and I'm on episode number 97. I've listened to all of the new ones, but 6. I'm writing in to celebrate a long-time goal. Not a WW goal yet, but planning on making it to lifetime. That's what I was doubting myself. I finally made it to 179 pounds after being stuck at 100 to 184 for over a year. The scale had not budged. To be honest, some of it was my fault and not totally being true to the plan. Other reasons that I didn't have my head in the game totally, without seeing any movements on the scale, and the other reasons I didn't track honestly. I also used to be a size 18 jeans, pushing bigger if I didn't stop myself. Now I'm in a size 14, and they're now loose and falling down, and I'm having to get a smaller size. I'm not sure if I get into a size 12 yet, but if I do, that is the smallest size I have worn, and it will be since I've been back in high school. I have a bunch of reasons now, which is why I'm so proud of myself for where I am now versus where I started at. I started Weight Watchers at my all-time highest weight of 217 pounds. I'm now 2 pounds from a 40-pound loss. This makes me want to cry happy tears. Man, I first joined Weight Watchers back in 2006. I never stayed on it very long just to get my 16 weeks and 10%. That old charm holder that looks like the 10%. I've been borderline diabetic, and with losing weight, I defeated that for a very long time. I've been in for a year right in the normal range. It runs in my family on both sides, so I was told that I could choose that if I would get there or not. It took a long time to really take care of myself. I started this back February 2016, and other people doubted me and said that I couldn't do it. Plus, other people at work back then, they all started a diet of their own choice. Then, shortly after I joined, I was keeping my eye on the prize. they all ended up stopping their diet. And then I got the normal, why are you paying to lose weight? Well, my why was because I did it before years ago, but I fell off the wagon hard. But I kept going on the path because I wanted to prove them wrong and that I could do it. But now I'm happy to say that I'm doing this for me and I don't care what anyone else thinks. I was focused on the number on the scale versus how my clothes fit, how I feel, and all the other things like we have all felt once we got there. I have some bad habits, just like taking cookie dough out of the fridge and eating it like a snack, eating in my car tubes of frosting, 2 to 3 donuts in one sitting. I look back at that now and I think, why did I do that to myself? If only I'd made it worse and I had to work harder to work it off. And how many times did I do that? My question for you is that I'm afraid to get down to the 170s, and that creeps back up to 180s, and it doesn't stay there. I hope it's where I want to stay, but how do you get past that feeling, and what did you do? I would love your advice to help me get to my next goal and eventually lifetime. I have a great leader in our corner of friends at the meeting every Saturday that I go to weigh in. I have a great family of support of my husband that keeps a check-in on me, whether I like it or not, and close friends that have doubts, or haven't had doubts. I also have a great accountability partner, Kathy. We have stuck together no matter what type of week we have. We communicate every day, multiple times a day. We keep each other going. She's become a close friend to me, like another family member. I also have just finally been able to get to my wedding ring past my knuckle. I haven't been able to do that until now. Mike, I thank you for believing me while I didn't believe in myself, but I'm happy to say I'm in the game and I'm not giving up this feeling at all. I also just signed up to run a 5K in Maryland in November this year. I'm in training right now to prepare for it. In closing, this is why my why would be other than the common things, family and feeling better about myself. I have never put thought of what or how, or I would put it into my why. I did not intend for this to be that long, but more came out while I was thinking, and it makes me think of how far I have come from the start. P.S. I passed up a chocolate peanut butter donut today because I looked at my weigh-in and so close to 40 pounds, lost soon. Thank you for your service, and I wish you good focus, Lacey. Lacey, what a cool email as well. 40 pounds down. Congratulations on that. Way to get down to 179 and finally get that scale to budge. That's empowering. You're in a new chapter. You've set a new course for your life, and now what you've done is you've proven to yourself you can do it. You absolutely can do this. And so no matter where you are in your journey in that regard, you now understand that you have the capability to do it. And so, I get that for, that range for a year where you're between 180, 184, that's a great job to stay in that range. But sure, you say, to be honest with you, it was your fault, not totally being true to the plan, not having your head totally in the game. That absolutely plays into all this. You've done a fantastic job. And so what happens in that stage is generally as we're trying to do this, if we're keeping an eye on the numbers and they don't budge the way we do, we want this instant gratification. And everybody that I ever seen in any of the meeting rooms, they want this 2 to 3 pound number every single week. That's what the expectation is for so many people. And the reality is that's kind of not how it goes. But I see so many people do that. And so if they don't hit 2 or 3 a week, there's this instant disappointment. I can tell you from anyone who's hit goal and who's hit lifetime, they can tell you that that's not how it works. How it works is there's some ups and downs, and there's some low numbers, there's some 0.2s, there's some 0.4s, there's some positive numbers in there as well. But so often when we see those low numbers, the minus 0.2, we simply let our brain go, why am I doing this? I sacrificed all week for a minus 0.2. I sacrificed all week for a no loss. I sacrificed all week and the scale went up. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, because what you did is you figured out that it takes a lot more than that. You have to stick with it. You have to build on that 0.2. You can't give it up, and you have to just say, okay, I lost 0.2. Let me do 0.2 more. That's how you get to a 40-pound weight loss. And so you're 2 pounds away from doing that. And you do that the same way by just putting your head in the game and say, I can do this. Those happy tears that you've cried when you first joined, now that you're there, those happy tears that you're crying, that's the energy that you have built up inside of you. That proves to you that you want this. That proves to you that you can do it. That proves to you that you've wanted this for so long that you have energy built up that's ready to celebrate when you get there. Everybody, it doesn't take long in the office or wherever you work to find people who want to lose weight. There's so many of us out there. And so there are so many options to do it. And so what I need you to do is I need you to be the inspiration for them, because it's contagious. When you start having success, other people look at you and they go, I want that. That's what you're after. And so, you're not doing it for that in a sense, but you're doing it so that you can reap the benefit, and then you can bring them along with you. And then as they come along with you, things just certainly get better for everybody. Develop the good habits. Digging into the fridge and reaching in for stuff and just, completely going, it is a habit that at some point we have to tame. You can do that. You certainly can do that. And so I want to answer your question is, how do you, your question is, you're afraid you get down to the 170s and it creeps back up to 180. And how do I handle that? And so, if you follow my journey for any length of time, you'll certainly know that my goal, according to the scale, was like 178 pounds. And so I weighed in this morning at 208. I'm completely happy with that. I started strength training. As soon as I hit goal, I went to the gym, and I've been strength training religiously for 2 years. I've missed just a couple of days, and so I'm adding muscle and I'm adding a balanced life to it. I said this in a previous podcast is some of my weight gain is muscle and some of my weight gain is pizza. And what I mean by that is that I understand now the relationship between me, the scale, and food. The scale is just data. Food, it can be good, or it can be, it can push me towards my goal or push me away from my goal. I don't get so wrapped up in the actual number on the scale. And so whether in your case, whether it be 170 or 180, certainly your height matters in that regard. But what I want you to do is I don't want you to get so fixated on a number that you add stress to your mix. I want you to know and trust that what you did to get you there worked, and that you can do it again. That if you end up going on a crazy vacation and there's nothing there that you've ever had in your life and you're forced to figure it out, when you come back, you have the tools to adjust. You can bounce right back into this new healthy lifestyle that you built. That's what we're after. We're after you building such good habits that they withstand everything that you throw at it. That's kind of living your life. That's living the lifetime dream. Now, certainly there are absolutely rock stars out there who, they keep their scale dialed in, but it all depends on what you like to eat. I'm not big on a lot of vegetables, so it makes it very difficult. In order for me to get enough food, I do have some things that are high in points, but I balance them throughout the course of the week, and I don't stress over them. Knowing that you can now get your wedding ring past your knuckle, that has to be a little inspiring. And so as you wear your wedding ring now, re-energize you in that mindset, a couple pounds on the scale isn't going to change that. I've had this conversation before with other folks, is that, when you walk into a restaurant, there's nothing you can eat in a restaurant that's going to make you not wear the same clothes out that you wore in. It's just not possible. So when you walk in there, no matter how crazy the meal got, you're still wearing the exact same clothes you walked out in. It's at that moment where you have to regain control, regain consciousness, say, okay, that part is over. Let me move forward. And that is kind of how I'm living this journey. And it gives me so much more freedom. It gives me so much more flexibility. And it just 100% relieves all the stress of waking up and having to see a specific number on the scale. There are numbers I like to see, but there is no expectation on my end that the scale does anything other than just report the data back. That's all I want it to do. That's all I want it to do for you. And so goal is a feeling. Goal is a look and a feel and how you feel about yourself. And it doesn't matter what the scale says if you're happy, truly happy, and you're truly healthy, and you're able to move however you want to move, and there are no restrictions because you've shed this burden. That's what you're after. And so when you get to that point, you mark down the number on the scale, but as you continue to live your life, you just kind of continue to always just balance it out and go, how do I feel today? Do I feel good? Do I look good? Am I happy about it? If the answer is yes, you move on. If the answer is no, you adjust. You just constantly move forward and make adjustments, and you absolutely get to the point where you want to celebrate. Folks, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Let's go to fatdag.com. Click on the Wise Advice podcast link. Send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll certainly work them in as part of the show. That's how this show works. You send email in, I read them. You don't send email in, I don't read them. It's pretty simple. I also want you truly to be proud of what you're doing. When you're proud of what you're doing and other people see that pride, your journey becomes contagious. Your journey becomes their inspiration. You become a mentor in this game because you then become the expert. I want you to be the expert in your life. I want you to be the expert in your journey so that other people can go out and write their own. That's going to do it for this time. Remember now that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Whoop, whoop. Just like that, 228 in the books. Very cool. So awesome. That was kind of fun. A lot of good emails. Yeah, Michelle, thank you for that. You know, Cheryl, you're very welcome. It's so much more fun when we have a community of folks, and you guys share some amazing stories. Gina, thank you. I think the fun thing, the most fun part of this for me is watching so many people find success. It's inspiring. It really is. And so, and when I mean success, I don't mean hitting goal in a lifetime, which that is success. I mean success, as I define it right now, success is people who've taken the time to write into the show and document their journey in their current state. That's success, because that's mentally checked in. If you're mentally checked in, everything else works. Think about your journey. Like the days that you're not mentally checked in, you don't track, you don't eat well, you don't work out well. The days you're mentally checked in, nothing stops you from going to the gym. Nothing tempts you, or very little tempts you, I should say, right? But so it's all mentally checked in. And so when you write in, that tells me that you're mentally checked in. So very cool. Let's see, I missed a, Marcia says, you wore your Fat Dag jacket today. Woo! I didn't see it. Did you post it? You must have. I must have just missed it. I have not been. I have my meeting tonight, and I have not been on the internet in a while. So see, Georgia Diva 16 says, my first one, I really enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing. You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. Very fun. Very cool. So Marcia, again, thank you. Let's see. Bev says, I love this community. Well, I agree. Betty says, awesome. Alice says, I love being inspired. I know. It's fun. Heather, it's great to see a podcast live. I'm with you. I'm working on another one for tomorrow. I'll put it on Twitter if it happens. Let's see. Jody says, live is the best. I completely agree. Lee got 5,273 pages written. Lee, I like you. Lee's the man. So cool. All right. So yeah, that's game plan is I wanted to do this one in tonight to get things rolling back in the right direction. We got an episode working on tomorrow. Certainly fill up my inbox, and maybe I'll sneak one in from the top of the box. You never know. But On that note, let me go ahead and wrap this up. I want to get this thing published, and I want to get to bed. I know it's early for me, but I'm working on sleep. That's my #1 priority. So that's the game plan. So with that being said, Instagram, thank you for being here. Keep up the amazing work. You got this. I'll walk with you. The community will walk with you. We can do it. So I wish you good focus and good night. And then we don't have to get rid of